welcome to Exiles TV. I'm Bill Profita. He's Kevin Gallagher.
Hi,
As they say, how you doing? Good to see ya.
welcome. And what is that big, shiny, bright thing in the sky?
Woo!
Wow, I got so tired of rain. Just rain. We had like 4 straight days. It was crazy, but yesterday was a nice afternoon, and today is it's an absolutely beautiful morning in the capital city.
Found myself in the backyard with Karen yesterday morning with a chainsaw.
Yeah? Did you have some blowdown?
We had some blowdown. Most of it was pretty handleable, but there was one that came off this 100-year oak that borders our house and about that big around and about 10
size.
feet long.
Good size.
And Karen said, well, why don't we go ahead and move that to the curb? And I said,
Move it to the curb. That's firewood, my friend.
I have got so much firewood from the big 40-foot lengths of the pecan that came down. But I said, we're going to cut it up first. And she said, why? I said, go ahead, pick up half of it.
Be amazed.
Yeah.
She was amazed, wasn't she?
It was chainsaw time.
Mm-hmm.
But, so many people, I mean, their backyards turned into ponds. Mm-hmm. It was awful. Yep. And then, of course, we got this rescue that has been hampered out off of Port Fourchon because the divers and the high seas and the rain continued until yesterday afternoon. So now they're going back. They are still hoping that the 5 missing crewmen have found, a non-flooded compartment on that jackup boat, and they may still be alive. But that is a faint hope at this point.
It's very faint, especially according to WAFB and WVUE in New Orleans. Headline this morning: 5th body recovered from the lift boat. Coast Guard to hold 1 p.m. press conference. It's not just the lift boat. That was a horrible disaster. But for that entire rig to go over like it did, I mean, that was considered to be a very sturdy, well-designed rig.
But no, it was not stationary.
It's a floating rig.
Yeah, but it was moving to a position. So the legs and all that weren't down.
The legs are down in the water, but they are buoyant on the inside.
Yeah.
And when it caught those rough seas, we're talking 16, 17-foot seas, and boom.
And hurricane force winds.
Over it went. It was one of the worst maritime disasters during what I would call fair weather by meteorological standards, non-hurricane weather.
Although they did have hurricane force winds.
Yeah.
For a while. There's a shrimper that was in that area that decided to record their perilous journey to get out of that. And he had everybody in the wheelhouse on his shrimp boat. And he's got one of these 117-foot, this is a big boat. And he says, everybody hold on, I think we're gonna roll. And they came to about 90. And you know what? When a shrimp boat captain is afraid, it's bad.
Yep.
Because those guys and women go out in every conceivable circumstance. And when he says these seas may roll us, that's some scary seas.
It's something, a reminder, even with the technology of today, the boat building and shipbuilding technology of today, when Mother Nature decides to pitch one, well, there's just no fighting it.
And again, I don't know in all the other parishes that see us. I am really, really glad and really, really thankful that Department of Public Works here in East Baton Rouge Parish, and I know Department of Public Works in Ascension Parish, and I know Iberville Parish, a week and a half ago, before all this all started, they said, look, we're going to get this front that's going to be 5-6 days of storms. And they were out cleaning ditches and drainage at a breakneck speed. Mm-hmm. And I think if they hadn't been, we'd have had some serious problems in our area.
Well, and Livingston got some very bad flooding, and they're still out there. Of course, now that the weather is cleared, they're still out there trying to clear some of these drainage ways so that if we get another big dose of rain, it won't be quite so disastrous. One thing I wanted to bring up, you know that at great federal taxpayer expense, we took the Bonnie-Carey, the Bon, or how you pronounce it, Bon?
No, it's the Bonnie-Carey, yeah.
Not the spillway. I'm talking about the
Bon-Carey.
The Bon-Carey, whatever you want to call it, the Enterprise Center.
Yeah.
Where we used to have a mall on Florida Boulevard, and turned that into a COVID-19 vaccination center. Completely free vaccines.
Open to everyone.
Open to everyone. No age limitation, no race, no nothing. Just pull in there and get you a vaccine. Saturday, one of my Facebook friends was at the place rolling cell phone video.
Mm-hmm.
Zero people. This place was designed to be able to deal with 3,000 a day.
And they had enough vaccine for 3,000.
And nobody is going to this.
They ended up doing 363. That's pitiful.
Which I hope that they didn't have to open lots and then throw vaccines away.
I hope not.
But what's behind this? Why is it we're here centrally located, Florida at airline or Florida close to airline, centrally located, just drive in, get your vaccine, come back 21 days later, get your second shot.
Well, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, max, people were absolutely hysterical. They were saying, what do you mean veterinarians can get vaccinated now, but I can't? You know, what do you mean, school lunch ladies, but I can't? Everybody wanted to get vaccinated. Well, now it's there. And I mean, no age, none of this, you have to be over 65, none of this, you have to have, COPD.
And you might only be in line for 10, 15 minutes max.
The way they had it set up, I rolled by while they were setting it up, not while they were in operation. This was going to be very, very quick. Your 15-minute after vaccination wait was going to be longer than your roll through to get the shot in your arm.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, all these people screaming and yelling that they were being discriminated against because they weren't over 65 or because they weren't obese or because they weren't this or weren't that. Now, all you got to do is get your butt over there and roll up your sleeve, and you're not doing it. Now, this is one of 5 mass vaccination sites that the federal government is paying for and setting up around the country. I guarantee you, if they don't get some numbers this week, it will be moved to where somebody will use it.
Or they'll just shut them down.
No, they'll move it. They'll move all the equipment.
Well, I agree. The federal government is motivated. They want 85% of us at the least to be inoculated against this virus. But I just don't understand. It's like you said 2 weeks ago, it was, I can't get it. Why can't I get it? Now it's like, there it is. Go get it. Absolutely free. Nobody's going.
And even people that were eligible with the staging system. I tried to go online and get a reservation. I couldn't get one. This is terrible. Well, you don't need a reservation. You just show up. They're going to pull this thing, and then 2 days after that, the complaining will start.
Everybody was, what happened to the place to go to get the... You didn't go.
Yeah.
Now, Bill, speculate. Well, I'll tell you what, let's take our break, and then we'll speculate on the other side. What's behind this lack of use of this huge facility?
Well, let me tell you, it's good old South Louisiana people being South Louisiana people. I'll just wait. I'll wait till tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Or I'll wait till,
okay.
Take our break.
Yeah, we'll be right back with more Exiles TV. You stay right there. Please.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves company. Cold and hungry like a dog in the street. I get a raw deal every.
So the question is, why are we not, when they're absolutely free, abundant, and in a central location in our city, why are we not taking advantage of a free COVID-19 vaccination?
2 words, Johnson & Johnson.
No, it's not Johnson & Johnson that they've got.
We don't care about that.
Well, you're going to find out that this Johnson & Johnson is a big nothing. Again, science will always win the day when it comes to things like this. They have found that these blood clots that they have are all in females, and they are all of a certain genetic type that is prone to blood clotting illness.
So mere coincidence that they got the J&J?
Well, no, they have to find out if there's something that that exacerbates that condition in people that have this condition. But it's the same thing. It's like, you know what? If you find out your kid's allergic to peanuts, you don't say, well, I'll give him a peanut butter sandwich.
But now that was Clarence Buggs chiming in with the Johnson & Johnson. I don't know if you could hear it on mic or not, but what it does do, though, when these things crop up and the media makes much of them, because I was actually questioning the story last week. It's like, wait a minute, so we got one person dead, and we're urging the J&J vaccine to be pulled nationwide?
Well, I mean,
with one person dead and 6 people sick.
But see, that's the whole thing. People try to make a story out of a little tiny grain of sand. I will wager, Kevin, that there were 5 times that many people killed in a car accident leaving their vaccination site in the last 3 weeks.
But what Clarence's point is, though, and I see exactly what he means, people are paranoid.
No, people are looking for reasons to be angry or to put something off.
Well, that too. Think about the things we've heard so far. It's like, why aren't black people getting vaccinated? And you hear the Tuskegee experiment.
Oh, please.
That took place, between 1926 and 1971.
Yeah.
Okay? It was a horrible, dark stain in American history, but 1971.
But here's the thing that I have said, and I've had some friends of mine who happen to be African American say, you know, that's it. And I said, well, you realize that these bottles aren't labeled for black people, for white people, for Asian people, for Latino. There's no way they could know.
Right. But yet,
so you're just walking on stupidity with this.
You have that paranoia, or as you said, excuse making, just to not do it. And I think that, as he said, the Johnson & Johnson scare has got, people don't care if it's Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, they don't care what the brand name is. Now they're just like, I heard that vaccine make you sick. And I've had some friends that said, I got the vaccine, the second shot really walloped me. Mm-hmm. Then I've got friends like you, the second shot First shot, no effect. Second shot, no effect.
Now, a year from now, by the way, a year from now when we've hopefully gotten this thing down to a manageable size and all this, you know what they're going to tell? You know what they're going to tell America? They're going to tell you, you know what? If you had a sick day after your second shot or two, if you felt kind of bad, you can feel real proud because that means you've got an extremely good immune system. That's what science is going to show.
Mm-hmm.
Because unless this is completely different from all other viral infections, there are people whose immune systems react differently. And sometimes the more stringent your reaction to the vaccine, the better indication it is that you've got a really good immune system.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I was warned at the second shot. They were like, okay, you didn't have any ill effects from the first shot? I said, no. I said, well, the second one, you know, you're really boosting now. We're really going to hit your immune system kind of hard because you've got some in there working, and you might have a little fever, you might feel uncomfortable, you know, you might have aches. And I said, well, okay. But, you know, this thing over at Bon Carré, it's like people that I know that have been complaining, they haven't been able to easily access their vaccination. Are you going to go? Well, no. Well, why not? Oh, I don't want to drive all the way over there.
All the way over there? We used to flock all the way over there to go shopping.
Mm-hmm. Or I'll wait. They're going to be there all week. I'll wait. You know, this is a Baton Rouge mentality that is ingrained. I mean,
so what do people want? Do they
We
want
have
you to
people
come to
that
the door
complain
and
about-
knock on the door, say, here's your shot, roll up your sleeve. Okay, we'll see you in 21 days. We'll come knocking again.
you know, we have people that complain about coming to our house for a social occasion because it's too far to drive, Kevin.
Your house is too far to drive. To come to your house and enjoy your free liquor and your free food in your lavish home. Okay. All right.
But I mean, Baton Rouge does not RSVP to things, which makes hosts of parties and caterers for weddings and all that crazy.
Because you horribly overcook, usually, or undercook.
Because you've only got 11 RSVPs and all of a sudden 75 people show
So how
up.
did we become a city of people who have no couth?
Take a look around you, my friend.
And this is not a racial cultural thing. I mean, it's
No.
not. It's everybody. It's everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
I know what RSVP means, and when I get an invitation that has that on it, I do. Mm-hmm. Even if it's immediately to say, nope, sorry, won't be making it.
I don't know how long they've scheduled to have this vaccination set up.
It's probably only going to be there a few weeks.
Yeah. I will bet you near the end of it, people are going to be, instead of the curve going like this, it's going to go like this. People are like, all right, well, and then again, well, you know, I got things I want to do on the weekend. So I don't want to go on Saturday or Sunday. I got things I want to do.
If you tell your boss, I need a little extra time during my lunch hour today to go get my COVID vaccination, what boss would say no to that?
Almost every employer on the front end of this, by the way, has said they will give their employees time. If they've got an appointment at Our Lady of the Lake or the General or Oxnard, they will give them time without docking their pay to go and get the shot. But we just like to put things off and make excuses. You know, some of the excuses can be really kind of a lot of fun, you know. Well, my old Aunt Tilly's next door neighbor, who was 171, had the shot, and she said she felt like her toe was going to fall off. So that's why I don't want to go. You know what? There are some people who treat stupidity as if it were a virtue. This population This population has elevated it to a science.
There are people that wrap themselves in their stupidity like it's a security blanket, and they're so proud to be ignorant. And they don't want to know any better. They don't want you to tell them any better. It's like they're proud of being a moron.
Well, and again, because of the resistance in the African American community at the front end of vaccinating. And because they have mentioned being underserved by health care, a suspicion that they are not getting the best health care, which may or may not be true depending on the case, and also the Tuskegee experiment, which was, by the way, those people should have all been jailed for war crimes type.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Some of them should have been put to death.
anticipating this, do you realize what happens before that shot goes in your arm or my arm or Marty's arm? We're going to give Marty his in his eye. But, do you realize what happens before you go there? All the vials are under some sort of protective care in another room, okay? Mm-hmm. The vaccinators are in a room where you are screened from other people getting your vaccination just for medical privacy, okay? You fill out your paperwork, or if you've already got it filled out, you present it to the person that's giving you the injection, okay? Then the people from the back room who draw up the injections have a handful of syringes in their hands, okay, that each have not the serial number, but the distribution number of that particular draw up on a tag, so they can put that on their record. They just tear it off, and they walk around the room, and if they're vaccinating 15 people at once, they just reach into their hand and they hand the vaccinator a syringe. And then they come back and pick it up as an empty and dispose of it when it's done. There is no way that they can tell who is getting vaccinated when they draw it up in the back, whether it's a Caucasian, an African American, an Asian, or a Hispanic. Anticipating this kind of stuff, they have built this in. So you don't know who is getting the injection you are drawing up.
There's other paranoia about these vaccinations that people talk about. There's heavy metals. There's heavy metals in the vaccine. The heavy metals will interact with 5G cellular.
Well, no, but they do make you a better guitar player. I'm actually a lot better now that I've gotten my vaccination.
The theory about the heavy metals in the vaccine interacting with 5G cellular and rendering you vulnerable to mind control is about the craziest thing I think I've heard so far in this whole COVID-19 thing. It's just any excuse to not take it.
Well, or the microchip. The government's tracking you.
And I guess I shouldn't be making excuses because I must confess I have not been vaccinated yet, and it's because I am right now in chemotherapy and radiation therapy for a low level stage 1 cancer, and they've advised me now if I didn't get it done beforehand to wait until after the treatments are over. So I'm going to have to wait another 5-6 weeks before I can get my vaccination. And with my luck, there'll be nothing out on Florida Boulevard that I can just drive up to.
No, there will, again, after the big surge, there will still be things that you can go very, very expeditiously. But the thing is, the excuse making belies something a lot more different. You got the people, that always want to think that they know something nobody else knows. They've got the inside scoop, and they can't prove themselves to be the buffoons that they are by actually going and getting I know one person, his wife ratted him out. And he's it's a big hoax, it doesn't exist, it never existed, and that vaccine is designed to, do all this to you and that to you, and how do you know this? Well, you know.
Word gets around, guys talk, you hear things.
Well, his wife was like, if you don't get your vaccine, because we have kids and grandkids and people who come and visit, I'm going to throw your ass out of the house.
Well, there you go.
So he went and
Nothing
got
like
it.
A good ultimatum.
He went and got it surreptitiously, but still says that he won't take it.
So he's lying.
Well, he's been lying to himself for years, apparently.
Oh, well.
He's got all these delusions that he knows something nobody else knows. Let's take a break. We'll be back in a moment with Exiles TV.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
The selection is deep, and the time to get a used car is right now from the Team Automotive Group. Shop and save on over 125 certified vehicles and choose from more than 700 pre-owned vehicles at any of our team locations. Or log on anytime at teamautouse.com.
Well, welcome back. It's Exiles TV. Here it is, beautiful Monday morning. We got lots of things to discuss. Lots of things.
Including Shreveport seems to be trying to keep up with Baton Rouge and New Orleans with gunfire incidents.
I don't know what's going on up there, but apparently some people decided that it was, as I understand it from reading the story on Channel 9 and Channel 2's websites, it was in the parking lot of a liquor/convenience store that was adjacent to a healthcare facility. Which, if you're going to shoot people, you might as well shoot them next door to a hospital.
Yeah, but it's a pediatric healthcare facility, so unless you're shooting kids, you get Dr. Binky coming out with the stethoscope that looks like a giraffe.
Well, one would think a pediatric hospital probably would not be well prepared for GSR.
Yeah, probably not.
GSWs rather. But
we're not at that point yet, but we will be soon. But anyway, the cops were clearing a traffic congestion. They heard the shots. They dispatched about 9 police units as well as crime scene. You got one victim shot in the head, one victim that had multiple, and then the other 4 apparently each had some sort of varying degree of gunshot wound.
Except for the one person who took a head wound, everybody else was injured in their lower extremities in what they call a non-life-threatening manner. But still, it's like, how many people were firing in this thing? How many, how was it just 2 guys?
Well,
because you've seen how sometimes, especially if they're young cats, they're not marksmen. They're just spray. The gun comes out, they turn it sideways, gangster style, and just start shooting bullets. But Shreveport police are trying to sort this one out. But how long before somebody tries to connect this to the Bayou Classic, which happened 24 hours beforehand?
Yeah.
And maybe I'm dead wrong about this, but it always seemed to me in Thanksgiving weekend that if anything bad happened in the French Quarter, we blamed it on the Bayou Classic.
If you have ever been to Shreveport, Louisiana, and you have ever decided, hey, I think I'd like to pick up a bottle of something to take back to my hotel room, most of the liquor stores in Shreveport are in kind of tough neighborhoods.
Well, this was reportedly a Raceway gas station, which sell liquor. Most raceways in Louisiana sell packaged products.
Somebody probably got upset over paying $9 for a bottle of Mad Dog 2020.
Police say multiple shell casings were found and numerous witnesses were interviewed. According to those witnesses and the victims, they were standing in a crowd of people at the Raceway gas station on Hearn Avenue when multiple unknown black male suspects walked up and started firing into the crowd. Just, hey man, there's a crowd, let's start shooting them.
Yeah.
Is that what we're thinking? You know, these things, what does Hill or Moore say about these shooting incidents?
They all know each other. There's
always
a beef. Yeah,
beef.
Always a beef.
Always a beef. The problem with it is, I understand the beef. I don't understand the beef turning into gunfire. But what I have a problem with is when your beef involves putting innocent people in harm's way.
Well,
that you have a problem with Bill over there in that crowd, and it's a crowd of 9 guys standing there, and you hate Bill, so you're going to fire into the crowd in hopes of hitting Bill, but you don't touch Bill, you hit Barney and Mac and Jeff.
Kevin, do you really think that these guys that are walking around are all students of Socrates, that they're going through the logical progression of their anger and how they're going to pinpoint the
No, I do not.
Just open up, what the hell? It's all the same. And that's the problem, by the way. Absolutely no regard for any life, even their own. I mean, do you realize how risky it is if you got a beef with somebody and they're in a crowd of 6 or 7 people and you decide you're going to draw your weapon and start firing? What do you figure the odds are that somebody else in that 6 or 7 going to fire back? Maybe 3 or 4 of them, maybe all of them.
Just a sad time, and I know that the city of Shreveport is not proud of Sunday night's activity.
But this is brainless activity. A lot of these shootings that we're hearing about is brainless to the point of being decerebrate. I mean, just completely brainless, mindless violence. And you could take the top 75 psychiatrists and the top 100 criminologists, and you could airdrop them into these kind of scenes, and they wouldn't be able to do a damn thing about it. You know why? Their penchant for violence, their penchant for not needing good, reasonable action, their totally out of control impulse system is not susceptible to remediation. This is the thing that people aren't going to get and never will get. We want to reach out and we want to help everybody. There are some people that are beyond help.
Well, I do think you reach a point, especially when you're talking about negative impulse control, you reach a point where you could be beyond hope. You could be beyond ever being rehabilitated, learnt up on it, if you will. Some people just have no control over their negative impulses.
Well, and again, let's say one of the guys has a legitimate complaint that makes him angry enough to commit homicide against somebody else. If you have half a brain in your head, you're not going to pull your gun where you are surrounded by surveillance cameras, because it's a convenience store that also is a liquor store, where there are dozens of witnesses around you. If you have a brain, you're going to wait for him as he gets out of his car at night in front of his house and then put one behind his ear. These people are absolutely freaking brainless. Absolutely brainless. And that makes them more dangerous than a hired killer. That makes them more dangerous than anything on the planet, because they have no brain, no impulse control, no logic, no reason, and they're usually partially altered by booze or drugs or something else.
So, Bill, you just mentioned drugs and made me think. This year, once again, in our state legislature, There is going to be moves afoot to decriminalize, legalize, and tax the consumption of marijuana in Louisiana.
Can we just get it over with and do this? Every year we have to have this discussion.
Every year we have this discussion. Every year it makes it into a committee room, whether it's a House committee room or a Senate committee room. And at that point, the all-powerful, the two most powerful lobbies, in my opinion, in this state, the sheriff's lobby and the district attorney's lobby, come in and they crush it. And maybe with good reason. Maybe it's a good thing that they do. But it's like, I know we need tax revenue. Need it badly. But is this the way to go about doing it?
Well, I don't know if this would be an absolute bonanza in tax revenue. But the fact of the matter is, we spend so damn much time and so much money prosecuting victimless crimes. You know, the idea that it's illegal, so, you know, some guy who comes home from the bank wants to smoke a joint with his wife before the kids come home from soccer practice or whatever, that's going to go on. That's going to go on. The amount of police funding and litigation and all this, it's ridiculous.
Well, the amount of money we spend on housing prisoners, sometimes for decades, because they were selling weed.
You know,
they didn't hurt anybody. They didn't kill anybody. They didn't take anybody's property, damage anybody's property. They were selling weed.
You know what they ought to do? You know, when the Transportation Safety Committee had to make legislation about requiring car seats for children, right? They brought in the seats and they showed them how it buckled into the car and how it would withstand a crash. They ought to take the committee and hand them all a joint and say, smoke this and then tell me what you think about it.
I've actually felt that way many, many times. Going back to when I was a reporter, it's like I wanted to ask members of a committee, Senate committee, have any of you ever tried this substance? Have any of you got any personal experience with this substance that you're calling a gateway to heroin and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? You know, I mean, you know, I don't mind telling you, I grew up in the 1970s and the 80s. I tried the substance. You know, it's not a gateway to heroin. Obviously, no needle tracks on me. Well, there actually are some from the chemo, but it's not a gateway drug, no matter what people tell you about it. And it's a plant. It's something that was given to the world by God. It's one of the many medicinal plants that grow in nature. And we're now getting to where we do recognize that it has medicinal value, although the federal government won't take it off Schedule 1.
No.
What's the qualification for Schedule 1?
No,
it has no
use.
medicinal value whatsoever. If the federal government would just take it off of Schedule 1 and maybe bump it down to 3, then maybe states could feel more at ease with this thing. I don't think Louisiana is going to legalize and tax until such time as they're clear of any possible federal implications.
Everybody else has legalized and taxed, and they're not worried about the federal implications. You know,
how many states right now? 13? There are 13 states that have recreational marijuana. New York State, I never thought New York State would go recreational marijuana.
Like, those people need to be more stoned than they already are.
And do you know how much, do you know what New York State's law is? How much you're allowed to own for your own consumption?
It's like a ton, right?
It's 5 pounds. You know how much 5 pounds of marijuana is? A bale of marijuana.
I don't. You're gonna have to tell me. I've never smoked marijuana, so I don't even know how. But it's an exceptionally light herb.
Okay,
so.
I'm gonna guess a pound of marijuana is gonna be about like this. Okay, something up. Now multiply that. It's a bale.
A hay bale.
Not compressed, of course. You know, I've been at like press conferences where state police busted guys with compressed bales of marijuana, and they're like 50, 60 pounds. But I'm talking about 5 pounds of loose marijuana is a huge amount. That's one of the reasons why law enforcement, I think, likes it, because it's big. It occupies a lot of space. It stinks to high heaven. So it's easy to catch people with it.
This is like the stripper bill of years gone by and all that. It's like the people, if you polled everybody of voting age in this state, I think you'd come down about 65-35 in favor of legalizing recreational marijuana.
There was a recent poll by our friend John Cuvia on JMC, and I believe 65 is where it came out.
So to all of you people in the Pointy Building downtown Baton Rouge, do what your constituents are saying they want you to do. Don't try to plant some sort of a religious standard. Don't try to plant some sort of a law and order method. And don't amend the hell out of it to where you end up where you've got a sewing thimble and some thread. Don't do that. Just give the people what they have said repeatedly that they want, and let's just see where it goes.
We have a highly regulated and highly taxed substance which is far more dangerous than marijuana and claims hundreds of thousands of lives every year. It's called alcohol. Marijuana, I don't think that there's ever been a documented case of where marijuana killed this guy. Ever. Okay? So let's just treat it like we treat alcohol. Make sure kids don't use it. Make sure people don't use it while they're driving, or have strict penalties for when you do.
My God, you sound like Tatalia in the Godfather. I want it regulated. I don't want it near schools. I don't want it near churches. I don't want kids
smoking weed. I don't want young kids smoking weed.
Think of how much fun they'd be if they did.
You know, I mean, this is an adult substance for adults. And in some cases, it's not just recreational, it's beneficial to some people.
Well, there was a time when sex was considered an adult activity, but hey, look where we are now.
Yeah. TikTok is where we are now. Quick break, we're going to be back with more on Exiles TV.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
The first big sale of the year is here. The Dream Garage Spring Event is underway at Team Honda. For the first time ever, get $12.50 customer cash on every new 21 Passport, or get 0% for 60 months on every new 21 Pilot at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
We're back, Exiles TV. Thank you so much for watching today. By the way, a quick note, programming note here. Our program, Marty, is it next week, beginning next week?
Next week.
Next week, beginning next week. Exiles TV will be moving to noon. We will be seen after the Clarence Bug Show at 12 noon.
You know why, don't you?
Because Clarence is a great lead-in.
Yeah, he needed a strong closing act. That's. Well, no, we're going to take advantage of this newly renovated restaurant to do a little live audience stuff for a while. If you want to come and join us as a live audience, and we're going to see how it goes.
Those of you that don't know, this show comes to you from the, and we're live right now as you're watching. Of course, if you're watching at 10 o'clock at night, it's a repeat. But we're at the Bayou Smokehouse, old school barbecue at 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Right across from the Clerk of Courts building in Baton Rouge. And the barbecue is tremendous. It's wonderful. And we're going to take advantage of having a lunchtime crowd.
Yeah. But, we're just going to give it a try, see how it works. If you want to, grab your lunch and come sit with us and watch and listen, we'd be happy to have you. Back to our discussion about medical marijuana.
Or recreational marijuana.
Yeah, or recreational marijuana.
I'm not sure I think recreational is a great idea. I'm not sure where Louisiana would be if we let people just walk around with weed in their pocket. I mean, there's things I wouldn't want to see. Like at a festival, I wouldn't want some dude at the festival, like Live After 5. I wouldn't want some dude walking through the crowd smoking pot. So.
But we let them walk through the crowd, stumbling ass drunk with a beer in their hand.
Well, that's true, but I don't want to see that either, honestly.
Yeah, but you do. Yeah, the point is, there are people walking around with marijuana on their person right now.
I'm looking at you, Marty. No, I'm kidding, Marty. I'm kidding.
I'm not. There are people walking around, and I have not been converted. I agree with you. I think you say it very, very well. Alcohol impairs you far worse and is far more dangerous to your health and far more dangerous to other people than recreational marijuana.
Solidly, provably addictive. There is no such scientific proof that marijuana is an addictive substance. And there's also more than a little bit of proof that if you are under the influence of marijuana, and something happens to make your body suddenly secrete adrenaline, that it will mitigate the effects of the marijuana.
Yeah.
For instance, you're driving down the road high, and then the blue lights come on in the back. By the time you get pulled over, you ain't high no more. However, your car's still going to stink, and you're going to go to jail.
Well, the thing is, just everybody look around. Don't listen to these bozos that propose stripper bills with an age limit, of 21, who are perfectly fine with a young woman going off to the army and getting an M16 at 18. Don't look at these bozos that are making political hay. But which do you think is more probable? 3 guys with, 10-year-old mullets and baseball caps that got holes in them, that are each 6'2" and weigh 95 pounds, that have had 7 or 8 blue and whites at the festival, and one stumbles on the other. And then you got the same kind of people, and they've both been smoking, and they stumble on each other. Which 2 are going to throw down and which 2 aren't? Come on.
The liquor drinkers.
You think?
The marijuana smokers that bump into each other are going to hug and help each other up.
Who?
I'm sorry, my brother.
Yeah. Who, when you're sitting there watching the band with your wife and your kids, who, if they trip before you, who's going to puke on your kid? The guy that's had 8 beers or the guy who smoked a joint?
Beers.
All right? Leaving the festival. Who's going to take your car door off as you're getting in because they're driving a little too close? The guy with the beers or the guy with the joint?
I'm going to say, actually, pretty fair odds it could be either one.
Okay, that's a toss-up.
Because, marijuana can cause you some spatial problems.
All right.
I thought I wasn't that close.
And 20 years from now, when he looks like Marty, who's going to have liver disease that you're going to have to pay for in the public hospital system, the guy who's smoking the joint or the guy who drinks the 8 beers a day?
The 8 beers a day.
I mean, we have got to get past the ridiculousness of this.
Well, and you realize there are people who are against marijuana because it is smoking. And that's it. That's the only problem. They don't want you to smoke anything.
Well, you know what?
No tobacco, no vaping, no pot. Just
again,
don't smoke. It can't be good for your lungs to inhale anything.
It's not going to be good for your lungs or your throat because it appears to be a rather hot smoke as well. So.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you that.
Your oral cancers, your pharyngeal cancers, your lung cancers, you're probably still at risk for this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give them a point. But let's just say you made it to where you can recreate with marijuana all you want, but you're going to have to ingest it.
Well, edibles.
Yeah.
Edibles is leading in Colorado dispensaries and stuff. Most people want to buy candies, cookies, things that are edible.
Well, I mean, I can't smoke anymore.
Have you ever tried marijuana?
No.
See, there's nothing wrong with that, though. Some people would say, where's your sense of adventure, for God's sakes?
Well, my sense of adventure was when it was popular, when I was in college, when it was readily available, and all around me. I had 2 federal licenses that I needed to protect. One, an FCC radio license, and the other, an EMT certificate from the state of Illinois.
One of the things I've always loved about Bill, he sees the long game.
Yeah. And I knew they were going to be gone if I got picked up, so I just didn't do it. But ever since my heart surgery, while the doctor told me, yeah, you can still have a cigar if you want, it's not going to kill you, you can't inhale it, I have a psychological switch that flips in my head. I tried to light a cigar. I started coughing like both my lungs were going to come out, and it had nothing to do with the cigar. It was all between my ears. So if marijuana were to become legal, I wouldn't be able to smoke it. Now, I'd go ahead and do an edible, but I wouldn't be smoking. Because that switch is going to flip in my head the minute I try to light something up close to my mouth.
The question that I don't think we can know in state government is how much can the state make in tax revenue from this substance?
Oh, they have an estimate.
You know, I think we may need to talk to our friend John Davis, who is instrumental in LSU's legal medical marijuana operation, because if it goes recreational, I'm sure those same people will be cultivating for the recreational. I mean, it's not just going to be...
I might be able to find it during the break. Let's take that break and we'll wrap the show if I can find out the estimates of tax revenue, okay?
Okay.
Back in a moment on Exiles TV.